the coming of the King of the Jews. 16 saints salute for him.
Hello, this is Dr. Gregg Mays with your Word Wednesday. Today I want to talk to you about the promises of God, the Word of God. But I want to ask you a question. What is it that God has told you that He's going to do in your life, but it's taken Him a long time to do it? Just let that marinate. Think about that for a second. Today I want to talk to you about a man named Caleb. And Caleb, you may know, was one of the 12 spies that Moses sent out to spy out Canaan, to recon this land, and then they were to come back and let the people know, let Moses know and let the Israelites know what it was like. And so they went out. And when they came back, 10 of the spies said, oh, we're doomed. They gave that gloom and doom story. And they said, we were like grasshoppers in their eyes, and they perceived us as that. But Caleb and Joshua did not have that same report. In fact, watch what Caleb says in Numbers chapter 13, and I'm going to start at verse 30. Watch what Caleb does. Now, all these 10 have come back, and they've given this bad report. And Caleb says, then Caleb silenced the people before Moses and said, we should go up and take possession of the land, for we can certainly do it. This is what Caleb said in that time. And everybody came, the 10 came against Caleb and said, no, we can't do that. And eventually the Lord comes against the Israelites, and many of them died. They tried to go, we're sorry. So they tried to go, and the Lord showed up and wrecked the place, right? And the Lord said, because you didn't believe and you didn't trust me, He said, anyone over the age of 20 right now will never enter the promised land, with the exception of Joshua and Caleb. This is what the Lord said. And so they wandered around for another 45 years because all those people had to die. And so we get to a place where Joshua has now taken over for Moses, and it's Joshua and Caleb. They're the two oldest people. We don't think about that, but they were, because everybody that was younger than 20 died. And at the time, Caleb was 40. And so I'm going to take us over into the book of Joshua, and I'm going to be at Joshua 14:6. And it says, now the people of Judah approached Joshua at Gilgal, and Caleb, same Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and the Kenizzite, said to him, you know what the Lord said to Moses, the man of God, at Kadesh Barnea about you and me. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to explore the land, and I brought him back a report according to my convictions. And then he goes on to talk about what everybody else says. Now watch this. I'm skipping down to verse 10. He says, now then, just as the Lord promised, He has kept me alive for 45 years. So Caleb is 85. Since the time He said to Moses, while Israel moved about in the wilderness. He said, so here I am today, 85 years old. He said, I'm still as strong. I need to say that again because, he said, I'm still as strong today as the day Moses sent me out. I'm just as vigorous to go out to battle now as I was then. Watch this. He says, I'm in verse 12. I love verse 12. Numbers 14, verse 12. I love because Caleb has been waiting. He has been trusting the Lord. He has been believing the Lord. And he knows that this is his time. This is his moment. And God is about to show up on his behalf. And Caleb says, watch this. He says, now give me this hill country that the Lord promised me that day, 45 years ago. Caleb is holding on to this promise. He said, give me that land. He said, you yourself heard then that the Anakites were there and their cities were large and fortified, but the Lord helping me, I will drive them out just as he said. Said that then Joshua blessed Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and gave him Hebron as his inheritance. What has God told you that he has promised you? And the only thing you need to do is to stay faithful in hope and allow God to do in your life and around your life what he wants to do. He wanted to give Caleb that land. He promised Caleb that land, but God is a God of his word. And there was only 2 Israelites that could enter that land who at that time were over the age of 20. Let that marinate. God may be at work on your behalf, but there's some things that he has to do. You may not know about them. You may not understand exactly what God is doing. But that doesn't mean he's not working on your behalf. The only thing you need to do is trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. I pray that this is a blessing for you. And remember, stay strong.
All rise for the coming of the King of the Jews. 16 saints salute for him, bringing the truth. Hold up for a minute, put your focus on him, then say lie for a second to catch one.